Today on Dead with Dave, I'm going to show you how to crapify a new display tank. Audio Zombie brings in a shitload of prizes to give away. Ghoulish Cop gives us a review of the National Haunters Convention. And we're finally going to show you some of the bloopers from the Dead with Dave Home Haunters Awards. Hello and welcome to the Dead with Dave show, a show that talks about all things Halloween and haunt related. Damn, it feels good to say those words again. It's been quite a while since I did a full Dead with Dave show. I did put out a couple minis here and there, but I just couldn't bring myself to doing a full-blown show. After the Dead with Dave Home Haunters Awards were done, I just got kind of burnt out on making videos. Don't get me wrong, the award show was fun, as you're going to see at the end of today's show when I release some of the bloopers. But it did take a lot out of me. And after it was done, I couldn't get into the correct mindset to do a good full show. So I took a little break. A much needed break. But we were back now and we were ready to do a show for you today. But before we get on with it, as you may have seen, we have a new intro. During my downtime, I wasn't just sitting on my ass doing nothing. I was actually learning. Yes, I can learn too. I've learned a lot of new editing and graphic techniques that is not only good here for the show. I know you guys don't really care about the flashy intros all the time. You just want to see Halloween and prop building. But the new things I've learned will really shine with the release of my new pandemic video and projection effects that are coming out soon. I got some really cool and unique effects that are in the works, and I'm really excited about them. One of them being as simple as that hospital heart rate monitor you see behind me. So as you will see, there's a little bit of a new look to the show today, and I have a lot of projects that I'm working on, so keep a lookout for some cool new things to come in the future. But we will talk about them at another time later on. I've bullshitted enough. Let's get on with the show. Today we're going to start off with how to make shit. Well, I'm sure by now you've noticed that there is a new tank behind me. I recently had to relocate a fish tank that was another part of my house. I didn't have any more room for the size tank that was there, so it was either I flush the fish or I give them a new home. So as you can see, I gave them a new home. But with a horror theme, of course. Now the tank isn't done yet. I'm going to be keeping a live face hugger from the movie Alien inside the tank. Hence the heart rate monitor you see on top. But for now, we're just going to focus on the outside crapified effect that I did to the tank. Now this look is nothing new, but I do use a couple of different techniques to make this overall look come to life. And I thought you guys might want to use some of these ideas somewhere in your haunts. You don't even need to do it to a fish tank. You can do it to any surface you want. So check it out. This is how to crapify a new display tank, or anything else for that matter. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is clean the surface you're going to be working on. This is a 20-gallon high glass fish tank that I got on sale for about 20 bucks or so. Now even though we're going to be making this look grungy, cleaning it is a good idea and will help ensure that the final product won't just peel off or crack and chip later on. After it's all clean, we apply our base coat. Because you can see through the glass from the other side of the tank, my base color is this green color, which will look like algae from the inside. Now I'm just coating the outside around the edges of the tank, leaving the center untouched. Well, except for maybe a little overspray, which if you want you can get off later with a little cleaner and a razor blade. Next we go over the green paint with some black spray paint. This is to add a little extra color variance and to help blend the outside texture with the inside of the tank. But don't cover the green paint completely though. You want to try to feather the edge a bit so it looks like an even transition from clear glass to green paint and then to black paint with no runs or no hard edges. Now onto the fun part. We're going to take some minimum expansion foam and mix it with dirt, twigs, sand, and leaves. Basically whatever you can dig up from the outside of your house. If you want a more gritty texture, you could always add some kitty litter into the mix, which is exactly what I do when making rusty pipes. Now I started off spraying the great stuff foam into the dirt and sand mix and then trying to apply it from there, which worked okay, but then I quickly realized that it's much faster to apply the foam first, then go over it again with the dirt and sand mix, as you can see me doing now. Just make sure to only apply the foam over where you have the base paint. Remember, if you look at it from the other side of the glass, you don't want to see any yellow foam. It will just stick out like a sore thumb. Now if the foam expands a little too much, just knock it down with your hand before it starts to tack up. This is also the reason to use a minimum expansion foam or a window and door foam. It really helps the foam from turning into big bubbly knobs. Now let this dry overnight so we can finish it up later. The final paint job is going to consist of 3 colors: a latex Java brown, a very bright yellow, and an oil-based metallic copper paint. I first cover the foam with the Java brown. This does take a good 2 coats of paint to get the proper coverage. Just make sure to let it dry between coats and get the paint down into the cracks. If you do miss some spots, don't worry. It adds to the final look anyway. You just don't want to leave too much foam exposed, as it can deteriorate in the sunlight and discolor badly over time, killing your entire look. After that's dry, we do a wet dry brush of the yellow paint. I say wet because you want to put on a good amount of yellow paint, but you only want to hit the high spots. So don't go crazy, but don't be scared to keep the brush a little wetter than normal dry brushing, and also brush in a couple different directions to get a little bit more of an even coverage. After that's all dry, we turn to the last color, the oil-based metallic copper paint. I use a stipple technique here, trying to get deep into all the little crevices. This metallic paint goes on thin and is a little translucent, so all the undercolors do come through, which give you a lot of variation in the color palette. Now I could have added some blue or even a little bright orange paint before this just to add even more color depth, but I wanted a crusty underwater rusty look, and I think I achieved that with just these colors. But try out different colors of your own for a different kind of a look. Well, that's it. This is the final look of the tank. I also did the plastic top of the tank and also the fish tank filter in the exact same way. Now once I do get my face hugger painted and inside the tank, I will be attaching pipes and running tubes all around the outside that will be treated with the same crapified technique. It should look pretty cool, I hope, after it's all done. I do hope I have given you some good ideas of your own, so maybe you can have some fun with it in your own haunt and go nuts and make something look crappy. If you do use this technique, make sure to post your pictures and videos on my Facebook group, Dead with Dave, so that everybody can see what you have done. I got some pretty cool news for you. The Dead with Dave show has a new sponsor, Audio Zombie. Audio Zombie is a music composer that specializes in the Halloween and horror genre. which is very fitting for the show here, don't you think? I've used their music quite a bit over the years, not only here in the show, but also in my home haunt. The music and soundscapes that they offer are a perfect match for the theme of my haunt, and I love how each of the songs has a unique sound to it. I first discovered Audio Zombie around 3 years ago at the National Haunters Convention. Sharon, AKA Josie Gal, introduced me to the owner and creator, Jason Rooch. I really hope I'm saying your name right. But Sharon has been a huge fan of their music for quite some time and also uses it in her haunt and on some of her YouTube videos. Well, after meeting Jason, we had a long conversation about his music and the inspiration behind it, and I have to say, I've been a huge fan ever since. Now, recently, we got to talking, and I had asked him if he wanted to be a sponsor of the show, where I would help promote Audio Zombie here on Dead with Dave and on my website, pandemichauntproduction.com, and in return, all he would have to do is give some free goodies to my viewers and discounts for my Pandemic members. So as you can see, he took me up on my offer. And we have some shit to give away. And boy, did he give us a lot. A couple $100 in products sit here in front of me that I get to give to a couple of my lucky viewers. And this is the whole reason for sponsors here on the show. It's not for me to make money or get free shit. It's for all of you to save money and get free shit. I mean, I do what I can to hook all my fellow haunters up. You all know that. But I am taking one of the shirts. I love the t-shirt. I'm taking one. There's two more of the black ones. There's 5 more of the white ones. You can fight over them. But I love the Audio Zombie shirt. It's advertising for them too, right? I mean, come on. But I do. It's awesome. So I'm keeping one. You guys can have the rest. So here we go. We're going to do a simple contest, because I do realize how freaking lazy you all are when it comes to contests. If I ask you to do anything more than a couple clicks of the mouse, I would only have like 3 entries, and you know it. I do have a lot of prizes here to give away, and I'm not really sure exactly how many winners I'm going to choose. We'll figure that all out as I start pulling names. But we're going to have at least 7 winners. I do know that. I'm going to group some of these together. I'm not just going to give out one CD to everybody. I'm going to group some, just to make it a little more interesting. But we'll figure that all out later. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, like, favorite, and comment on this video. For the comment, just tell me if you ever listened to Audio Zombie before, and if you have, what do you think of their music? That's it. If you are a member of pandemichauntproduction.com, then you already are entered to win, so you don't have to do anything. Another perk of being a member. But if you want, I always appreciate the comments and thumbs up. It will increase your chances of winning, but it will make me feel warm and cozy inside. We will draw the names on the next full Dead with Dave, so good luck to you all. Now, you know what? Let's play a little bit of Audio Zombie for you. I made a quick video of the National Haunters Convention show floor and thought it would be a good way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Here is the NHC and some music from Audio Zombie. Enjoy. Speaking of the NHC, here's Rich with the review of it.
For 4 years running now, I've attended the National Haunters Convention in Pennsylvania, and this was the first time I went filled with loathing and dread. 2 years ago, some of you may have read my scathing review of the show on Haunt Forum, where I was infuriated over the dismal showing. Last year, after first saying I wouldn't return, I went as part of the Dead with Dave crew, and came away once again saying, never again. As bad as the show was 2 years ago, last year's was worse, and I felt fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So when the show rolled around again this year, I thought, hell no. But of course, regardless of whether the show sucks or not, it's the people you go with and who you meet there that makes the trip otherwise worthwhile. So once again, I trudged off to the National Haunters Convention with expectations for a good show about as low as they can be. Perhaps because my expectations were so low that I could only have been happily surprised, and indeed I was. I actually found the 2014 NHC an enjoyable affair, one I can actually say I'm ready to return to again next year. Up front though, I should give a couple of caveats. First, as part of the Dead with Dave crew, I was comped immediate pass, so I didn't have to pay to get in. But because the show lowered the entry fee to just $15, that wouldn't have been an impediment anyway, and considering how it turned out, well, worth the cost. Second, the show was small. Instead of taking over a much larger section of the Expos Center and trying to fill with tchotchkes and flea market finds, NHC wisely chose a small section and packed in a lot of relevant vendors. They also put the haunted house in a separate area where they could turn out the lights and make it more effective. It's just hard to get scared when you can see everything because of the blaring halogen lamps overhead. With that said, I think Michael Brunner and Robert Hightower did a great job this year. I don't know whether they made any money on the show or not, but because they were committed to saving the show, and saving the convention is what they had to do, this had to be looked at as a rebuilding year, almost as if they were starting out for the first time. While home haunters, particularly those on the East Coast, want a haunt show of their own, so in some way we were all rooting for NHC to succeed, the fact is the past 2 years were so horrible they had to overcome a damaged reputation. While I spoke to a few haunters there who gave NHC the equivalent of a shrug this year, thinking it was just okay, most of the haunters I spoke to felt NHC did an admirable job. I agree. I may have been one of the bigger bashers of the show in recent times, but I was really pleased with its look and feel. So let's get into the look. Walking into the show, there was a lot of activity. There were a couple of big sets visible, such as the one from the always cool Nevermore, with their oversized doll props and pneumatic spiders. There was a stage to the left that seemed to always have someone on it performing and entertaining the crowd. And I have to apologize. I didn't get to see too much of the show because I was going from booth to booth to booth. Thank you, NHC. You finally had vendors there relevant to home haunters. There was Fright Props and Castle Blood, From Art to Zombies and Village of Darkness. There were props, masks, tools, and kits to buy. Contact lenses and curiosities, books and their authors, and most of all, quality. While a number of the vendors have been with NHC for each of the years I've attended, last year in particular it seemed more like an arts and crafts show than a haunt show. This year, however, was different. This year, haunters could go and find something to take home with them that they could use in their own home haunt. While not every vendor might have made the sales they thought they were going to, I know several said they recouped their expenses and then some. And hopefully, it was more than just a few, as it suggests haunters will spend money if given quality items to purchase. NHC had that this year. Sure, there's always room for improvement, but as I said, I think this was a rebuilding year for the show, and I think they gave themselves a solid base on which to grow. My understanding is they had a lot of local haunt vendors there this year. Smart move. I hope NHC continues to do that, and I hope they'll be able to attract a few more of the bigger names too. I believe that may have been part of the problem in the past. I had the sense they wanted to be a smaller East Coast version of Transworld, but obviously there's only one Transworld, and then there are a number of competing shows that divide haunters' attention and wallets. Whether it's HauntCon, Midwest Haunters Convention, or West Coast Haunters Convention, prop shops obviously have to go where the numbers are. And since everyone thinks it's cool to hold their shows halfway to Halloween, the vendors have to pick and choose. However, I appreciate those companies like Fright Props that continue to support NHC, and I'll continue to buy from them because of it. I believe if haunt vendors see the success that I think NHC was this year for those that attended, the show can once more grow from here. I went in with a lot of trepidation and expecting to report it was an abysmal failure once again, and probably wouldn't be around much longer. Happily, I can say the National Haunters Convention came through this year and may just have resurrected its chances for future success. At least next year I can say I'm looking forward to going to this show and to continue having a good time with the Dead with Dave crew and all the home haunters we met there.
Well, it's time for the most important part of today's show. This is the Dead with Dave Home Haunters Awards bloopers reel. And man, do I have a ton of footage to show you. Over 2 hours worth. So grab a cold beer because we're going to be here a while. No, I'm just kidding. You know me. I'm always going to edit it down to something more manageable and keep it fun and entertaining for everybody to enjoy. But you still might want to pause this and grab a beer just so you don't feel left out of all the drinking that's going on. Now, I did post on the Dead with Dave Facebook group a little while back asking a question of who you would want to see first in the bloopers. And hands down, Rich won. Of course. Everybody just loves Rich's crazy little antics. But I do think it's best right now to show a little bit of everyone just to get the juices flowing. Then in future episodes, we can focus on each of the judges one at a time, but I think you're going to enjoy what I have put together for you today. So, enjoy. Okay, you want to do it now? You done now?
I do a lot of haunting. I'm a home haunter.
How much haunting I do?
Give me a cigarette. Okay. All right.
What's your segment?
I couldn't do it.
Huh?
What's your segment?
Motor props.
Okay.
Best motor
She didn't
props.
even know. Are you ready?
Okay.
She doesn't care.
Yes, I do.
Drop her next year.
We gotta get a Sharon Light.
Okay. When haunters decide to make the move from static to animated props, most of the time, the first thing they reach for is a motor. Motor-driven animatronics... You fucked me up. You did. He did that.
I heard
Thank
it.
you.
I heard it.
You wouldn't have been able to use it anyway.
No, so it's fine.
When haunters decide to make the move from static to animated props, most of the time, the first thing they reach for is a motor. Motor-driven animatronics great for the... Fuck!
Animations.
Wait,
Motor-driven
motor-driven animation...
Animation.
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 Okay, animation.
You only have single words.
Animations.
Let me change that to motor-driven props. Motor-driven animations.
What's the one I'm really gonna fuck up on?
All of them,
I
apparently.
think so.
I don't know. You tell. Clap for me. Okay, that was one clap. Oh my God! Really, you drank that much?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Everybody, quiet on the set, please.
Quiet on the set!
We're running. Go ahead.
It's going to be some time before I can call myself a veteran home haunter, but when I do, I hope I will be at least at the level of the veteran haunters that have entered this year's Dead with Dave Awards. While watching each of the entries, I sat in awe over the pure home talent that these guys and gals bring to home haunting, from their attention to detail to the quality of each of their... What the fuck?
When my seminary columns won last year's Best Static Prop Award, I was shocked. When my seminary columns...
You said seminary, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah.
You said seminary? Seminary?
Yeah, you said seminary.
With my seminary columns, when last year's...
It's all her fault.
It is
She
her
said
fault.
It the first time.
It is...
It's cemetery.
Okay. When my seminary... It's all your fault. You said that dumb word. All right, here we go.
Cemetery. Say it a few times.
Cemetery,
You of all
cemetery.
people should know it's
I
called
should
a
know.
cemetery.
Well, you put seminary in my mouth.
Well, that's it for this episode of Dead with Dave. I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed by now, I have no freaking clue what you're waiting for. You know you want to subscribe, so just click the button that's down below and do it already. I mean, holy shit, I can't do everything for you. I'm just kidding. You know I love you all, but I do love my subscribers just a little bit more. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. Anyways, go over to my website, pandemichauntproduction.com, for more Halloween and haunt-related things, and go join the Dead with Dave Facebook group to keep up with what's going on with the show and what other happy viewers are doing with their haunts. Have a great night, and I will see you next time. Well, that's it for this episode of Dead with Dave. I hope you've all enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed by now, I have no freaking clue what the hell you're waiting for. You know you want to subscribe. All you gotta do is push the little button that's at the bottom of the video. It's not that hard. Go ahead, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. Go ahead. Make the video smaller or whatever. If you're on a phone, you know, just turn it up right. There'll be a little subscribe button. All you gotta do is click on it. I'll wait. I will sit here. We'll all wait. Everybody watching this video right now, we'll sit and we'll wait for you. Are you? I mean, come on. Does this make you feel happy having everybody wait for you? You mean you being the center of attention right now? Huh? Go ahead. I'm waiting for you. Hit the button. Hit the button. Thank you. About goddamn time. Got a new subscriber, everybody. Want to welcome.